This is the story of a ghost plane and aircraft flying perfectly on autopilot, with no one conscious on board. It is an event that reveals the terrifying limits of human biology and the unforgiving reality of high-altitude flights. In August 2005, Helios Airways Flight 522 took off from Larnaca, Cyprus, bound for Athens. A Boeing 737 climbed into clear blue skies. All systems seemed normal. As an aircraft descends, cabin pressure is meant to stabilize, creating a comfortable, breathable environment. On this flight, it did not. Inside the cockpit, a warning horn suddenly blared. This specific sound could indicate one of two very different problems: an incorrect takeoff configuration or a critical loss of cabin pressurization. The pilots, having just completed a smooth takeoff, assumed it was a configuration error. This single assumption sealed their fate. As they focused on the wrong problem, the cabin continued to lose pressure, and vital oxygen levels plummeted. Throughout the cabin, passengers would have first felt a sudden chill from the venting air, then an uncomfortable pressure in their ears. After that, they would have felt nothing at all. This is the insidious nature of hypoxia, or oxygen starvation. It doesn't cause panic. It silently erases awareness. Neurons misfire, vision narrows to a tunnel, and motor skills collapse. Judgment vanishes. Speech becomes slurred and then fades into silence. One by one, every person on board lost consciousness. In the cockpit, the captain was still trying to solve the puzzle. He radioed the company's ground engineers, asking about the air conditioning system, still not realizing the true danger was rapid decompression. Hypoxia was already dismantling his ability to think clearly. Time itself would have felt distorted. Soon, he became unresponsive. The first officer, experiencing the same silent attack, slumped over the controls. Both pilots were incapacitated, but the aircraft, guided by its autopilot, continued its journey at 34,000 feet, cruising steadily as if nothing was wrong. When the flight failed to respond to air traffic control, the Greek Air Force scrambled to F-16 fighter jets to investigate. What they witnessed was chilling. Peering into the cockpit, they saw the two pilots, motionless. There was no movement, no sign of life. But then, they saw something else: a flight attendant, Andreas Prodromo, moving inside the cockpit. He was conscious, thanks to a portable oxygen bottle. He had been trying to take control of the aircraft. He signaled to the fighter pilots with his hands, desperately trying to save the plane, fighting to stay upright. As his own oxygen supply dwindled, he was the last conscious person on board. But it was too late. The engines had been running for hours, and the fuel tanks were nearly empty. As the engines flamed out from fuel starvation, the autopilot disengaged. The jet began a slow, descending turn. Prodromo, with his limited pilot training, fought to regain control, but it was an impossible task. The aircraft descended uncontrollably toward the hills below. It crashed near Grammatico, Greece. All 121 people on board were likely already unconscious long before the impact. The investigation revealed a fatal cascade of errors. A pressurization switch had been left in the manual position following maintenance the night before. This critical setting was missed during all 3 pre-flight checks. The ambiguous warning horn was misinterpreted, and by the time the effects of hypoxia took hold, the crew was physically incapable of understanding their own peril. At 34,000 feet, without pressurization, the time of useful consciousness is less than a minute. After that, a person can't read instruments, can't think clearly, and can't even recognize the need to put on their oxygen mask. The brain simply shuts down. The autopilot, which needs no oxygen, kept the aircraft flying perfectly, creating the eerie illusion of a normal flight, while the cabin had become a silent tomb. The story of Helios 522 serves as a tragic reminder of how a simple mistake, compounded by human physiology, can lead to an unimaginable disaster. Thanks for watching.